What's up, and welcome to A Jumpstart with Javon, where we read personal development books so you can jumpstart your day. Today's excerpt is coming from Reinventing Yourself by Steve Chandler. This is a goodie. So, if you want to, go ahead and get this book because it's going to benefit you well. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this portion that I thought was worth bringing to your attention. Fred Knight is a four-time Emmy Award winning TV writer, actor, and songwriter and comedian who speaks the joy of human identity folly through his writing and humor. The most creative work he's done, though, has been his own life's direction. Whereas most people settle for a safe career inside something predictable, Fred has always followed his spirit into ever widening circles of unconventional writing and performing. Each year that goes by, he increases his ownership of his career's path. To own something, he says it means to declare that it belongs to you, to claim it, to make it a part of what you value and what you defend. It could be a marriage, it could be a friendship, it could be a skill, it could be a venture, it could be a success, it could be a mistake. We can own our values by declaring them, and we own our lives instead of pretending that they belong to fate. When you start to see the power of mentally owning things and taking full creative possession of them, he said you'll own more and more situations and things. And you won't want to pretend that your life belongs to fate. He says many of the external circumstances in your life belong to fate, but so what? You won't be able to think of the circumstances you can't enjoy once you decide to wrap your own spirit around it. Now, this is good. He says, once you own your own energy and spirit, you'll see the positive side of taking responsibility. Responsibility has gotten a bad name. We associate it with guilt and blame, but responsibility is magnificent if it's thought of about with a high level of consciousness. Responsibility is powerful when thought of in its positive sense. Responsibility is the ability to choose your response. I'm going to say it again, but I'm going to say it where both of us can get it, okay? Responsibility is the ability to choose our response. It is our response skill, therefore making it our response ability. It says when you learn to take full responsibility for setting a goal, you're going to reach that goal in no time. And when you learn to totally own a problem does not stand a chance with you. But because we're afraid of the negative side of responsibility, we miss out on the sheer joy of cultivating rapid response time. And that was an excerpt read from the book Reinventing Yourself. Now, y'all know I like to teach, okay? So stick around for this teaching. So, how can we improve our response ability, okay? When you start looking at it like a skill, then it won't be so heavy on you, okay? So, here's a 3-step framework that you and I could use to improve our responsibility. Okay, so the first thing we want you to do is pause before you perform. See, most people do not respond, they actually react. Okay, and our reaction is automatic. Somebody step on our toes, we be ready to throw them both. Somebody say something to us out the side of the neck, we be ready to, clap back. Okay, but response is intentional. When something triggers you today, because it will, somebody's tone is going to trigger you, an email is going to trigger you, their attitude is going to trigger you, an inconvenience, like you driving in traffic and you like, oh my God, why did you cut me out? Something is going to trigger you today. Okay? I want you to practice a 5-second pause before you react. before you speak, before you say something. And I want you to take that 5 seconds, okay? Let's try to see if you can really do this, but I know you can. All right. What outcome do I want here? Is what you're going to ask yourself in those 5 seconds. And who do I want to be in this moment? And that pause is going to interrupt your old identity patterns and give you back ownership of your energy, because reinvention starts with a pause, okay? Now, somebody's going to try you today, but Javon is telling you to pause. Alrighty. So the next thing we can do, separate facts from story. We don't respond to events. We respond to the story we tell ourselves about the events. Example, here's a fact. They didn't reply to my message. But the story is that we're telling ourselves is they are ignoring me and that I'm not respected. That story creates an emotional reaction, and we want to stop telling ourselves stories, okay? We need to stop assuming we know that something is something when it ain't something. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. The action step we want to do is we want to step back and say, what are the neutral facts about this? And what story am I adding to the story? Okay? Stop making stuff up, all right? If it's not a fact, stop making it up, okay? One thing we're going to do, we're going to pause. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to separate the facts from the story. And the third thing we're going to do is choose the identity we want to practice. Every response that we are making is rehearsal. You are either rehearsing patience or pettiness. You are rehearsing leadership or ego, or you are rehearsing confidence or insecurity. What are you rehearsing on a daily basis? Who do you want to become? Reinvent that person. You don't have to be the same old person that you was a week ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 years ago. You can become somebody new, okay? And think to yourself, what kind of person handles situations? What type of person do I want to be when it comes to handling adversity? You cannot get around adversity. It's going to happen. So decide what type of person you want to be when you're handling adversity, okay? And ask yourself again, how would that version of me respond? We want to stop reacting and we want to start responding intentionally. We want our response ability to increase. Y'all get it? Okay, all righty. Then I want you to act accordingly. I want you to take this information that you've heard today, okay, whether you hear me driving in your car, hopefully you're not looking at the screen, but wherever you are, I want you to act accordingly, even if you don't feel like it. That's the key right there. This is where responsibility becomes empowering instead of heavy, okay? Now, it's not, I have to deal with this, but I want you to reframe that and say, I get to decide who I become through this. Thank you so much for joining Jumpstart with Javon. Come back and join me tomorrow, and I'll see you then.